All right, now let's bring in Sina Azodi, the director of the Middle East Studies program at George Washington University. He joins us live from Washington, D.C. Sina, thank you so much for being with us. What should be read into these internet cuts? That the government wants to stop people from organizing, or that escalations against protesters could be on the way?
I think it's both. This is a classic ploy by authoritarian states, especially in Iran, that in order to hinder communications and shut down any messaging, any sending footages to the outside, they cut down the internet. This is something that we saw first in 2008. We witnessed it in 2019 and 2022. And just today, the government has apparently shut down the internet. And depending on where the protests are going, I would expect more crackdown, more iron fist approach from the government.
I mean, the government so far has been giving a bit of mixed messages from authorities about these protests. The president has called for restraint from security forces. But at the same time, there have been warnings that protesters would not be allowed to get out of control. How thin of a line is the government walking right now in how they handle these protests, and why?
Well, I think they initially displayed some self-restraint. But we started seeing more crackdown. There were more deaths reported and confirmed. And I really think that the government is in a very difficult situation because externally it is facing a lot of threats coming from the Israelis. There are discussions of another round of conflict between Iran and Israel. So really the government tried, at least initially, to keep the people on its side. But I believe that it has no choice to fight for its survival, and that is to crack down on people. It is also facing the threat of President Trump's action if it escalates on killing its own citizens.
And externally, of course, it's also feeling the weight of all of these international sanctions. Is there anything the government can do at this point specifically to improve the economic interests of people to end these protests that way?
I think direct talks with the United States that would end the sanctions. And it's not just the economy. There are multiple crises that the Iranian government is facing at the same time. It is the energy crisis, water crisis, air quality, economy. It's everything together. And that's why I believe that the situation for the Islamic Republic has been unprecedented.
It's unfortunately for the Iranian people just a bit of a snowball. It seems like there are just so many things piling on here. As these protests continue to gain more momentum, do you think we're seeing just the beginning of what may become a much larger movement in Iran right now?
There's a good chance. It really depends on how the government will try to deal with the demonstrations. It might allow the people to vent off some crackdown, and then with the hope that it will fizzle out. But the problem is, the dilemma, at least for the government, is that if they show a lot of leniency, people might get emboldened and then move for the toppling of the regime. These are all the questions that we don't know the answer to. And only in the next few days, we're going to see how they will develop.
Sina Azodi, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera.
Thank you for having me.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.